Welcome to our channel. We are so glad you found your way here. Let us help you fall asleep. Let's begin with the soldier's will, the special law for the Roman men on campaign. Take a slow, deep breath in and release it. Let the noise of today fall away as we step back, not just hours or years, but centuries, into the vast theater of crime and punishment in ancient Rome. If you genuinely like our videos, please hit like and subscribe. The Roman military structure was an intricate system that supported the empire's expansive ambitions. Legionaries formed the backbone of this formidable force, organized into legions, each consisting of approximately 5,000 soldiers. These legions operated under a strict hierarchy, with officers overseeing various ranks, ensuring discipline and efficiency. Within the legions, specialized units, known as cohorts, allowed for flexibility in tactics and deployment. Auxiliaries, non-citizen troops, complemented the legions, providing diverse skills and local knowledge. Their inclusion was essential for maneuvering in unfamiliar territories, enhancing the army's overall effectiveness. Commanders relied on these forces to adapt to dynamic battlefield conditions, showcasing the importance of strategic diversity. The structure emphasized rigorous training, with soldiers subjected to demanding drills that honed their physical and tactical proficiency. Each individual was not merely a soldier, but part of a cohesive unit, trained to function seamlessly within a larger collective. This emphasis on unity facilitated a strong sense of loyalty, crucial for maintaining morale during prolonged campaigns. Logistics played a pivotal role in supporting military endeavors. Supply lines ensured that troops remained well-equipped and provisioned, allowing them to sustain operations across vast distances. The overall design of this military framework underscored the Romans' understanding of warfare, shaping their legacy as one of history's most effective military powers. The concept of the soldier's will permeated Roman society, intertwining personal honor with the collective might of the military. This intricate notion represented more than mere obedience. It signified a profound commitment to the values of loyalty and discipline. Within this framework, soldiers were not just instruments of war. They became embodiments of the Republic's ideals. They drew motivation from a sense of duty to their comrades, their families, and the state, creating an unbreakable bond that transcended the chaos of battle. The soldier's will was nurtured through rigorous training and a structured hierarchy, reinforcing an intrinsic sense of purpose. Each legionnaire understood the importance of individual valor within the larger context of the unit's success. This principle was reflected in the intricate rituals and oaths that solidified their resolve, fostering an unwavering spirit that would carry them through the harshest campaigns. Recognition of valor was paramount, as acts of bravery were celebrated, ensuring that the soldier's will remained a driving force within the ranks. The respect afforded to veterans further cemented this ethos, as their experiences served as both a guide and an inspiration for those who followed. In this manner, the legacy of the soldier's will continued to influence subsequent generations, echoing through the annals of military history. Roman military campaigns spanned vast territories, shaping not only the empire's expansion but also the very fabric of Roman society. The legions, composed of disciplined soldiers, played a pivotal role in asserting power across Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia. These endeavors were often marked by strategic ingenuity and logistical prowess, allowing for the swift movement of troops and resources. Military conquests introduced a complex interplay of cultures, as conquered regions integrated Roman practices, while also influencing the Roman way of life. Settlements established by veterans served as focal points for Romanization, spreading language, customs, and governance. The presence of soldiers in these territories facilitated trade and communication, fostering economic growth. Arthur Will. In this environment, the soldier's will emerged as a critical legal instrument. It provided a means for soldiers to secure their legacies and ensure familial support, reflecting the deeply personal stakes involved in warfare. Such measures encouraged loyalty and commitment among troops, reinforcing the cohesion necessary for successful campaigns. The socio-political landscape was inextricably linked to military actions. Each campaign not only sought territorial gain, but also shaped the identity of the Roman citizen. Through these military enterprises, a distinct Roman ethos developed, entwining valor, duty, and the pursuit of glory, which would resonate through history long after the legions had marched. A comprehensive framework emerged to govern the conduct of soldiers during campaigns. This special law, known as the Lex Militaris, was designed to maintain discipline, ensure loyalty, and outline the rights and responsibilities of Roman men in service. It served as a vital legal apparatus, distinguishing soldiers from civilians and emphasizing their unique role within the expansive Roman Empire. Provisions within this law defined the conduct expected of soldiers in the face of conflict, as well as the repercussions of failing to adhere to these standards. Punishments for breaches could range from demotion to execution, a reflection of the strict hierarchy and the importance placed on order during military operations. This legal structure fostered a sense of unity among troops, reinforcing their commitment to one another and to the broader imperial mission. Rights granted under the Lex Militaris included the entitlement to spoils of war, which motivated soldiers to engage fiercely in battle. Additionally, it provided for medical care for the injured and specified conditions under which veterans could receive land upon retirement, thereby securing their future in civilian life. The law not only governed immediate military engagements, but also contributed to the societal elevation of soldiers, intertwining their fates with the expansion of Roman influence across vast territories. The presence of the centurion marked a crucial element in maintaining order and discipline within the ranks. This officer, often chosen for his experience and valor, held the responsibility of enforcing the law that governed soldiers on campaign. His authority extended beyond mere command. It was a vital link between the legionaries and the overarching structure of Roman military governance, guiding the men through both the rigors of battle and the complexities of camp life. The centurion ensured that each soldier understood their rights and obligations under the law. This role fostered a sense of camaraderie among the troops as they relied on their leader for protection and counsel. Such relationships often transcended the battlefield, creating bonds that were essential for cohesion during extended campaigns. Decisions regarding discipline were at the centurion's discretion, shaping the moral framework of the unit. Punishments were meted out judiciously, reinforcing the laws that safeguarded the integrity of the legion. The centurion's capacity to balance authority with empathy often determined morale and effectiveness in combat. In times of peace, this role evolved into that of a community leader, as centurions often took on administrative duties within conquered territories. Their influence extended far beyond military matters, shaping the very fabric of Roman society in newly acquired regions. The legal framework surrounding military service established distinct rights and obligations for soldiers. Regulations dictated the enlistment process, ensuring that volunteers understood their commitments and the potential consequences of service. These laws outlined the duration of campaigns, often extending beyond the typical 2-year service for legionaries. Soldiers could expect legal protection regarding their property, which remained safeguarded from creditors during their absence. This provision allowed them to focus on their duties without the fear of losing their lands or livelihoods. Enforced the rules within their ranks. Such regulations fostered a sense of unity and purpose among legionaries, contributing to the overall effectiveness of military operations. In return for their service, soldiers could earn rewards, including land grants or monetary bonuses upon retirement. These incentives were crucial in recruiting and retaining loyal troops, creating a robust military force. The integration of veterans into civilian life was facilitated through legal channels, allowing them to transition smoothly back into society. This connection between military service and citizenship reinforced the notion that soldiers were not mere warriors, but vital contributors to the prosperity of the empire. The intertwining of law and military duty thus served to reinforce loyalty, ensuring that the soldier's will remained aligned with the ambitions of Rome. The evolution of military law in ancient Rome reflects a complex interplay between governance and the demands of warfare. Initially, military regulations were rudimentary, primarily focused on discipline and order within the ranks. These early laws established a framework for conduct, addressing issues of insubordination and desertion, essential for maintaining cohesion among troops. As Rome expanded, the intricacies of military operations necessitated a more sophisticated legal structure. This region witnessed the emergence of formalized codes that delineated the rights and responsibilities of soldiers. Regulations began to encompass various aspects of military life, including provisions for pay, rewards for valor, and consequences for dereliction of duty. Such measures not only motivated the legions but also reflected the state's commitment to its soldiers. The introduction of the Lex Julia and subsequent reforms represented significant milestones. These laws codified the relationship between soldiers and the state, embedding legal protections for veterans and establishing avenues for grievances. Over time, the military legal system adapted to the changing dynamics of Roman society, integrating civilian law principles to create a more comprehensive legal framework. In times of crisis, military law could shift rapidly, allowing commanders to exercise extraordinary powers. This adaptability ensured that Rome's legions remained effective and responsive, even amid the chaos of battle, reinforcing the enduring connection between law and military efficacy. Compensation and rewards played a pivotal role in maintaining morale among the soldiers. Each legionnaire was entitled to specific benefits, ensuring that their sacrifices were recognized and valued. It extended beyond mere payment. Rewards often included land grants, monetary bonuses, and even the promise of citizenship for those who served honorably. These incentives were critical, fostering loyalty and commitment to the Roman cause. In the aftermath of a campaign, successful soldiers frequently found themselves celebrated for their contributions. Generals, understanding the importance of gratitude, often instituted public displays of appreciation which solidified the bond between commander and troops. This recognition served a dual purpose, reinforcing the soldiers' sense of purpose while simultaneously enhancing the reputation of their leaders. In addition to these tangible rewards, the prospect of glory and honor was an intrinsic motivator. The soldier's role was not merely to serve, but to achieve personal distinction in the annals of military history. The echoes of their bravery would resonate through time, immortalized in tales recounted around campfires and in the forums of Rome. Such compensation structures contributed to the stability of the military system. They ensured that the legions remained not just a fighting force, but a community united by shared experiences, aspirations, and the unyielding spirit of service to Rome. The interplay of rights, rewards, and recognition underscored the intricate relationship between the individual soldier and the expansive Roman Empire. Loyalty served as a cornerstone of Roman military culture, shaping the very fabric of camaraderie within the ranks. It transcended mere obedience, establishing a profound bond between soldiers and their commanders. This allegiance was cultivated through shared experiences in the face of adversity, whether during grueling campaigns or in the throes of battle. In these moments, the connection among soldiers deepened, solidifying a collective identity that was vital for cohesion and morale. The Roman army placed immense value on loyalty, often intertwining it with notions of honor and duty. Acts of bravery were frequently rewarded, reinforcing a soldier's commitment to their comrades and the empire. Such recognition not only bolstered individual morale, but also served as a powerful motivator for others. The expectation of unwavering loyalty extended beyond the battlefield, influencing actions during peacetime as well. Consequences for disloyalty were severe, affecting not only the individual, but also the unit as a whole. Betrayals were viewed as threats to the integrity of the legions, and were met with stringent penalties. Leaders understood that maintaining loyalty required a delicate balance of discipline and respect. Trust was paramount, with the effectiveness of military operations hinging on the soldiers' confidence in one another and their commanders. This cultural framework contributed significantly to the enduring success of the Roman military. The soldier's will exemplifies the intrinsic values held by Roman society. It manifestly reflects the principles of duty, loyalty, and honor that permeated the fabric of Roman life. This document served not only as a legal instrument, but also as a testament to the profound connection between the individual soldier and the collective entity of Rome. By outlining the rights and obligations of soldiers, it emphasized their commitment to the state and the sacrifices required during campaigns. In this context, the will highlighted the expectation of soldiers to prioritize their military duties above personal interests. They were urged to consider their families and loved ones, ensuring their welfare in the event of unforeseen circumstances. This foresight reinforced the notion of responsibility that characterized Roman ideals. The stipulations within the will provided a structured approach to inheritance, thereby ensuring that the contributions of fallen soldiers would not fade into obscurity. Battles fought on distant fronts were imbued with the knowledge that their legacies would be preserved through these legal declarations. Such reflections of Roman values went beyond mere survival. They fostered a sense of unity among the ranks, binding soldiers with a shared purpose. In essence, the soldier's will became more than a document. It was a reflection of the indomitable spirit of Rome, one that transcended individual lives and echoed through the annals of history. Recruitment practices in the Roman army were a meticulous and highly organized process designed to ensure a steady influx of capable soldiers. This region, rich in diverse cultures, provided a vast pool of potential recruits, each man subject to careful evaluation. The recruitment often began in the bustling marketplaces and rural communities, where local officials would seek out eligible candidates, typically between the ages of 18 and 25. Physical fitness and stature were prioritized, as was the ability to endure the rigors of military life. Men were encouraged through a variety of incentives, including land grants, monetary rewards, and the promise of social mobility. The allure of military service was enhanced by the prospect of honor and glory, as well as the opportunity to contribute to the expansion of Rome's influence. Neighboring tribes and conquered peoples were sometimes integrated into the ranks, their allegiance secured through assimilation and shared interests in military success. Once selected, recruits underwent rigorous training designed to instill discipline and camaraderie. Drill sergeants guided them through exercises that developed not just individual skills, but also a collective identity. This preparation was essential, as the effectiveness of the army depended on the cohesion among its ranks. Each soldier was not just a fighter, but a vital component in the machinery of Rome, reinforcing the enduring legacy of military might and organization. The oath of enlistment represented a profound commitment, binding each individual to the ideals and expectations of the Roman state. This solemn declaration was not merely a formality. It crystallized the soldier's allegiance to the emperor and the empire itself. In taking the oath, they pledged to uphold the values of discipline, courage, and loyalty, acknowledging that their actions would impact both their fellow soldiers and the broader society. This commitment extended beyond physical prowess in battle. It encompassed a readiness to endure hardships, to follow orders without question, and to defend the homeland against external threats. Each soldier understood that they were part of a larger narrative, a story of conquest and expansion that defined Rome's power. The ritualistic nature of the oath reinforced its significance, often conducted in the presence of superior officers and fellow troops. This act of solidarity fostered a sense of unity among the men, creating bonds that would prove essential in the face of adversity. The echoes of their voices, raised in unison, resonated through the ranks, a reminder of their shared purpose. In this atmosphere of shared commitment, the foundation of Roman military strength was laid, ensuring that the ideals of the state transcended the individual. Each soldier became a thread in a larger fabric, woven into the enduring legacy of Rome. The enduring legacy of Rome is intricately bound to its military law, which laid the groundwork for governance and civic responsibility. This legal framework established a code that not only governed the actions of soldiers, but also shaped the very identity of the Roman citizen. Regulations concerning conduct, discipline, and the treatment of prisoners reflected a society striving for order amidst the chaos of conquest. Military law served as a means to maintain cohesion within the ranks, ensuring that these individuals, bound by duty, acted with honor and accountability. The presence of stringent penalties for misconduct underscored the expectation of loyalty and integrity, reinforcing the notion that each soldier was a guardian of the Republic's ideals. Rensai were a soldier without daustas. These regulations extended beyond the battlefield, influencing the administration of justice in civilian life. The principles embedded in military law resonated throughout Roman society, establishing a legacy that emphasized the importance of civic duty and collective responsibility. As campaigns unfolded, the need for swift and clear legal directives became apparent. The decisions made in the heat of battle reflected not only tactical considerations, but also a deep-rooted respect for the laws that governed them. This intricate relationship between military operations and legal frameworks defined the Roman approach to governance, creating a profound impact that would echo through centuries. The transition to the Roman Empire marked a significant evolution in military law, reflecting the centralization of power and the expanding reach of imperial authority. This new structure introduced regulations that governed not only the conduct of soldiers, but also the responsibilities of commanders. An emphasis on discipline and loyalty emerged, shaping the ethos of the Roman legions. The introduction of the leges militaria established clearer guidelines for recruitment, training, and the conduct of troops. These laws prioritized the emperor's will, reinforcing the notion that military service was tied directly to the sovereign's directives. It became essential for soldiers to demonstrate unwavering fidelity, with severe penalties enacted for acts of insubordination. With the expansion of the empire, the complexity of legal systems necessitated adaptations in military law. The establishment of military provinces meant that laws were often tailored to local conditions, yet always aligned with the overarching imperial policy. The deployment of legions across diverse terrains and cultures required a flexible approach, allowing commanders to exercise authority while adhering to the legal framework. And this period also witnessed the formalization of veterans' rights and benefits, ensuring loyalty through incentives. These developments fostered a sense of belonging, binding soldiers to the empire and shaping the future of military engagement. The consequences of these changes would resonate throughout the entirety of Roman history. The role of military tribunes in enforcing laws was pivotal in maintaining order within the ranks of the Roman legions. These officers served not only as leaders, but also as enforcers of the legal framework established to govern soldiers during campaigns. Their responsibilities extended beyond mere administrative tasks. They were integral to ensuring that discipline was upheld and that the soldiers adhered to the regulations set forth by the Senate and military commanders. Military tribunes acted as intermediaries between the common soldiers and the higher echelons of command, translating the laws into practical applications on the battlefield. This position required a deep understanding of both military strategy and the legal codes that governed soldier conduct. They were tasked with investigating infractions, administering punishment, and resolving disputes to maintain cohesion among the troops. In this environment, justice was often meted out swiftly, reflecting the urgency of military operations. The gravity of their role was underscored by the knowledge that the effectiveness of the military could hinge on their actions. In times of crisis, the presence of a capable tribune could bolster morale and ensure that the soldiers remained focused on their mission. This structured approach to law enforcement contributed to the efficiency of the Roman military machine, reinforcing the social order that allowed it to thrive in various campaigns across distant territories. The concept of fides represents a fundamental principle within the Roman military ethos, encapsulating loyalty, trust, and the moral obligation of soldiers towards their superiors and comrades. It signified more than mere allegiance. It established an expectation of mutual respect and duty, essential for maintaining the cohesion of the ranks. Soldiers were bound by this tenet to fulfill their oaths and commitments, fostering an environment where personal honor was intertwined with collective responsibility. This sense of duty extended beyond the battlefield. It informed interactions within the ranks and dictated the behavior of officers towards their men. The bond created by fides enhanced unit morale, ensuring that soldiers fought not only for glory, but also for the sake of their fellow comrades. The consequences of betrayal were severe, as breaking this trust could lead to social ostracism and disciplinary action. Von Anheiks, for in practical terms, the principle guided decision-making during campaigns. Leaders relied on their soldiers' fidelity to execute complex strategies while navigating challenging terrains. The effectiveness of the military often hinged on this relational dynamic, as soldiers demonstrated unwavering commitment even under duress. Such unwavering trust in the chain of command became a hallmark of Roman military success, enabling campaigns to unfold with precision amidst the uncertainties of warfare. The ramifications of fides resonate through history, illustrating the intricate interplay between loyalty and military effectiveness. Geography played a pivotal role in shaping the strategies and outcomes of Roman military campaigns. The vast expanse of the empire, characterized by diverse landscapes, dictated the movement and logistics of legions. Mountain ranges, rivers, and dense forests presented both barriers and opportunities, influencing the routes taken by soldiers. In particular, formidable terrains such as the Alps posed significant challenges to invasions, often necessitating the construction of roads and fortifications to ensure safe passage. Coastal regions allowed for naval operations, enabling the transport of troops and supplies across bodies of water. Control of strategic ports facilitated quicker deployments and enhanced communication between distant provinces. The Mediterranean Sea served not just as a geographical feature, but as a vital link that connected different parts of the empire, fostering both commerce and military coordination. Von Host, arid landscapes in regions like North Africa required adaptations in tactics and resource management. Water scarcity demanded innovative solutions, with soldiers relying on local knowledge to secure vital supplies. Each campaign reflected an acute awareness of these geographical elements, as commanders assessed not only the physical terrain, but also the environmental conditions that could impact troop morale and effectiveness. The soldier's will emerged as a pivotal factor influencing morale and effectiveness in the field. This intrinsic motivation encapsulated the determination and resolve of each man, shaping how they faced the adversities of the campaign. Loyalty to their comrades and the mission often fortified this will, creating an atmosphere where shared purpose drove them forward. And in arduous conditions, such as the sweltering heat of the sun-baked plains or the biting chill of mountain passes, the strength of the soldier's will was tested. Moments of hardship were softened by the collective spirit of the unit, fostering a resilience that could withstand the rigors of military life. It was not merely the physical capabilities of the men that dictated success. Rather, it was their mental fortitude that often proved decisive in the face of overwhelming odds. This resolve was cultivated through rigorous training and preparation, instilling a sense of duty and unity among the ranks. The bonds formed through shared experiences and challenges reinforced their commitment, making the notion of retreat or surrender almost unfathomable. In the grand tapestry of military campaigns, the soldier's will acted as a silent force, subtly influencing outcomes. The interplay between individual determination and the collective morale would. The Code of Conduct for Roman soldiers established a clear framework for behavior and expectations during campaigns. This structure emphasized discipline and loyalty, as the success of military operations often hinged on cohesive action. Punishments for misconduct were severe, reinforcing the importance of order. Each soldier understood their role within the larger machine of the Legion, fostering a sense of responsibility that transcended individual ambitions. This code dictated not only battlefield conduct, but also interactions with local populations. Respect for allies and the subdued treatment of conquered peoples were essential to securing stability in newly acquired territories. The promise of protection and order was a powerful tool for Roman soldiers, enhancing their reputation and facilitating the expansion of influence across vast regions. The emphasis on training ensured that each soldier was well prepared for the rigors of combat and the challenges of unfamiliar environments. Drills and exercises honed skills and built a sense of camaraderie, critical for maintaining morale during extended campaigns. It was not merely the strength of arms that determined success, but the unwavering adherence to principles that governed behavior in this environment. The soldier's will was cultivated through a combination of personal conviction and adherence to the collective ethos, resulting in an effective fighting force capable of remarkable feats across diverse landscapes. Desertion, an act viewed with severe disdain, carried substantial legal repercussions. The Roman military maintained a rigid code that underscored loyalty and commitment. A breach of this code not only jeopardized the unit's integrity, but also posed a threat to the overarching mission. Punishments were swift and harsh, reflecting the seriousness with which desertion was treated. The law dictated that those who fled the ranks faced dire consequences, often culminating in execution. The method of punishment served as a stark warning to others. This practice reinforced the collective identity and the importance of unity among soldiers. Maintaining discipline was paramount. Thus, the enforcement of such laws contributed to a culture where bravery and loyalty were revered. In cases where execution was deemed excessive, alternative penalties existed. Fines, forced labor, or demotion could replace the death penalty, allowing for some degree of mercy. Yet, the stigma attached to desertion lingered, tarnishing a soldier's honor and reputation. This societal perception acted as a deterrent, ensuring that the threat of punishment remained a powerful tool in maintaining order within the ranks. These measures shaped a soldier's experience, instilling an understanding of the values intrinsic to military life. The legal framework surrounding desertion, the special law, introduced provisions for soldiers' families, recognizing the burden placed upon them during campaigns. It aimed to ensure that those left behind received adequate support, acknowledging the sacrifices and uncertainties faced by the families of men in service. This legislation stipulated that a portion of a soldier's pay would be allocated to dependents, providing necessary financial stability. In addition to monetary support, it established rights for families to receive aid in times of crisis. When a soldier was deployed, provisions were made for access to food, shelter, and medical care, which were essential for maintaining the well-being of wives and children. These measures sought to alleviate the anxiety that often accompanied military campaigns, allowing soldiers to focus on their duties without the constant worry for their loved ones' welfare. Legal frameworks were put in place to address issues such as inheritance and property rights, ensuring that families could maintain their status and assets even in the absence of the primary breadwinner. As soldiers engaged in the complexities of warfare, this law served as a reminder of the interconnectedness of duty and familial responsibility. It reinforced the notion that the sacrifices of both soldiers and their families were integral to the continued strength of the Roman military and society as a whole. Women played a crucial role in the support system surrounding Roman soldiers, often serving as the backbone of domestic life during campaigns. Many took on additional responsibilities, managing farms and businesses in the absence of their husbands, ensuring the family's economic stability. This region saw women actively participate in the production of goods, from textiles to food, which were vital for both civilians and troops. Their contributions extended beyond mere economic support. Emotional resilience became essential as families coped with the uncertainty of military life. Letters exchanged between soldiers and their spouses provided solace, maintaining connections that were vital for morale. These correspondences often contained expressions of hope and encouragement, reinforcing the soldiers' determination to succeed in their endeavors. Widows of fallen soldiers faced unique challenges, yet many found ways to adapt and thrive. Some even became advocates for veterans, petitioning for recognition and support from the state. The societal acknowledgement of their sacrifices led to gradual changes in legislation, such as provisions for pensions for families of the deceased. The presence of women in these roles illuminated a collaborative effort that fortified the Roman military ethos. In this manner, the enduring spirit of these women became intertwined with the legacy of the soldiers, creating a profound, albeit often overlooked, dimension of military history. Economic considerations formed the backbone of military campaigns, influencing strategy and outcomes in significant ways. These endeavors required substantial resources, necessitating careful planning and allocation of funds. The logistics of supply chains became paramount, ensuring that soldiers were adequately equipped and sustained throughout their missions. This region saw extensive engagement in trade, where local economies were often disrupted or transformed by the presence of armies. The procurement of food, weapons, and materials dictated the success and longevity of operations. This reliance on local and regional resources often led to the establishment of supply depots and logistical hubs, which were crucial for maintaining troop morale and efficiency. Such economic activity sometimes stimulated local markets, although it frequently resulted in exploitation and hardship for civilian populations. Rivalries between military units could emerge from competition over resources, complicating the broader dynamics of campaigns. The financial burden placed on the state prompted rulers to seek innovative taxation methods, impacting societal structures. As military campaigns expanded, so too did the need for effective governance and oversight of these economic aspects, leading to evolving administrative practices. This intricate relationship between warfare and economics shaped not only the outcomes of battles, but also the societal fabric of the time, leaving enduring marks on both cultures and economies across the region. The ideals of honor and glory permeated Roman warfare, influencing the motivations of soldiers and the strategies employed by commanders. These concepts were deeply ingrained in the psyche of Roman society, serving as both a personal and collective driving force. Valor in battle was not merely a matter of survival, it was a means to achieve everlasting fame and recognition. The pursuit of glory often overshadowed the harsh realities of conflict, shaping the narratives told about military exploits. This culture fostered an environment where acts of bravery were celebrated and the fallen were immortalized in public memory. Generals, aware of this mindset, tailored their campaigns to not only achieve military objectives, but also to elevate their own status and that of their legions. The battlefield became a stage where valorous deeds were expected to be performed amidst the chaos of war. Symbols of honor, such as laurel wreaths and triumphal processions, reinforced these ideals. Victorious generals would return to Rome, paraded through the streets, embodying the glory of their conquest. This cycle of ambition and recognition sustained the military's commitment to Rome's expansion, as soldiers sought to carve their names into history through exceptional service. The intertwining of honor and warfare created a legacy that would resonate throughout the ages, shaping the very essence of Roman identity. The psychological impact of war on Roman soldiers was profound, influencing their behavior and perceptions long after campaigns concluded. The relentless demands of military life, coupled with the constant threat of death, forged a unique mindset among these men. Training was rigorous, instilling discipline and resilience,
yet exposure to violence altered their emotional landscape. Combat experiences often led to complex reactions. The camaraderie formed in the crucible of battle offered solace amidst chaos, creating bonds that transcended ordinary friendships. This sense of brotherhood provided a buffer against the psychological toll, allowing soldiers to cope with the harsh realities they faced. Despite this, Samat, the Poldith, many endured unspoken burdens, grappling with the memories of lost comrades and the ethical dilemmas inherent in warfare. The societal expectations placed upon these men further complicated their mental states. Valor was celebrated, yet the fear of failure loomed large. Success on the battlefield was not only a matter of survival, it was a reflection of personal worth and loyalty to Rome. The pressure to uphold these ideals led some to develop a facade of invulnerability, masking deeper insecurities and traumas. The legacy of these experiences shaped future generations, influencing not just military strategies, but the broader cultural narratives surrounding honor, sacrifice, and the human condition within the context of conflict. Legal rights for retired soldiers in Rome reflected a complex interplay between recognition and obligation. Veterans were granted specific privileges that recognized their service and sacrifices, including land allotments and monetary rewards. These provisions aimed to ensure that those who had defended the empire could secure a stable future, contributing to the societal fabric. In this context, the management of these rights was not merely an act of gratitude but a strategic necessity. Retired soldiers often became pivotal in maintaining local order, acting as influential figures within their communities. The land granted to them was typically in the provinces, where their military experience could serve to foster loyalty and deter insurrection. Entitlements extended beyond mere financial support. Legal frameworks were established to protect veterans from exploitation, ensuring their rights were upheld in civil matters. This included the ability to testify in courts, safeguarding their voices in disputes. The integration of veterans into civilian life was a gradual process, characterized by both acceptance and tension. As they returned, the existing societal norms struggled to accommodate those who had experienced the brutal realities of combat. Their presence served as a reminder of the costs of war, prompting ongoing dialogues about valor, duty, and the oft-overlooked psychological implications of service. In this evolving narrative, the retired soldier emerged as both a protector and a complex participant in Roman society. The influence of Roman law on military discipline established a framework that governed the conduct of soldiers during campaigns. Strict regulations ensured that order prevailed within the ranks, emphasizing the importance of loyalty and obedience. This legal structure provided clarity, outlining consequences for misconduct while rewarding exemplary service. Sanctions for insubordination ranged from fines to corporal punishment, reinforcing a hierarchy that facilitated effective military operations. Within this system, soldiers were not merely warriors. They became custodians of Roman values, instilled with a sense of duty that extended beyond the battlefield. Their adherence to law was essential in maintaining discipline, which directly impacted campaign outcomes. Clear protocols dictated how they engaged with local populations, ensuring interactions aligned with Roman interests. This legal framework fostered an environment of trust, enabling soldiers to operate cohesively as a unit. The integration of law into military training cultivated a deep sense of responsibility among soldiers. Teaching them the implications of their actions promoted accountability, creating an ethos that persisted even after their service concluded. The retired soldier, embodying these principles, brought elements of military discipline into civilian life, influencing societal norms. In this way, Roman law not only defined the soldier's role on the campaign, but also shaped the broader cultural landscape, leaving an enduring legacy on future generations. The integration of auxiliary forces within the Roman military framework presented unique legal considerations. These non-citizen troops, often recruited from conquered territories, brought diverse skills, local knowledge, and manpower to the Roman legions. Their inclusion necessitated a re-evaluation of legal definitions concerning citizenship and military service. Legal provisions allowed for specific rights and responsibilities, establishing a complex hierarchy within the armed forces. Auxiliary soldiers were granted certain protections under Roman law, distinguishing their status from that of regular legionnaires. They received promises of land and citizenship upon successful completion of their service, fostering loyalty and enhancing recruitment efforts. This legal framework not only facilitated military campaigns, but also encouraged cultural assimilation as local customs began to merge with Roman practices. In this environment, the judicial authority over auxiliaries was often decentralized, with local leaders empowered to enforce regulations.
Consequently, maintaining discipline and order within these diverse units required adaptability from the commanding officers. They were tasked with balancing Roman military traditions with the unique characteristics of the auxiliary forces. The implications of these legal arrangements extended beyond military operations, influencing social dynamics and the integration of diverse populations into the Roman fold. Through these measures, Rome solidified its dominance, shaping a complex legal landscape that would resonate throughout its vast empire. Commanders held a pivotal role in the enforcement of military law, acting as both enforcers and interpreters of the regulations that governed the lives of soldiers. This responsibility extended beyond mere discipline. It encompassed the broader obligation of maintaining order and morale within the ranks. Commanders were tasked with ensuring that the rules were not only understood but also respected, fostering an environment where loyalty and obedience were paramount. The relationship between commanders and their soldiers was characterized by mutual reliance. While soldiers were bound by the laws, commanders were equally bound to uphold the tenets of justice, ensuring that punishment was meted out fairly and consistently. This balance was crucial as it maintained the cohesion necessary for effective military operations. In instances of transgression, commanders would invoke military law, addressing offenses ranging from minor infractions to serious breaches of conduct with measured precision. In the heat of battle, the complexities of these laws became even more pronounced. Commanders often faced challenging choices, weighing the need for discipline against the realities of warfare. Their decisions could influence the course of campaigns, impacting the fates of entire legions. Upholding military law was not merely a matter of compliance. It was integral to sustaining the very fabric of Roman military might, ensuring that soldiers remained steadfast in their duties amidst the trials of campaign life. The relationship between military law and civil law formed a complex framework that governed the lives of Roman soldiers. Distinctions emerged between the two systems, each serving a specific purpose within the larger structure of Roman society. Military law, with its own set of regulations, addressed the unique challenges faced in the field, where swift decision-making was essential. It emphasized discipline and order, ensuring that soldiers adhered to protocols designed for the rigors of warfare. Civil law, on the other hand, provided the foundation for societal interactions and governance within the empire. It regulated civilian life, encompassing a wide array of issues from property rights to family matters. While the two legal systems operated independently, their interconnectivity was evident. Soldiers, though under military jurisdiction, were still citizens of Rome,
subject to civil law when not engaged in active duty. This duality reinforced the idea of duty and responsibility, binding individuals to both their military and civil obligations. In times of peace, the transition between these legal spheres became particularly significant. Soldiers returning from campaign were expected to reintegrate into civilian life seamlessly, navigating both codes of conduct. This fluidity reflected a broader understanding of identity within the Roman context, where military service was a pillar of citizenship, influencing the ethos and values of the society as a whole. O source and porca, the impact of war on Roman society and culture was profound, shaping the very fabric of daily life. Military conquests expanded territory, infusing the Republic with wealth and resources. This influx contributed to architectural advancements, seen in the grand forums and monuments that adorned the cities. These structures often celebrated military victories, reinforcing the notion of valor and success as civic virtues. Cultural exchanges emerged from encounters with diverse peoples, enriching art, literature, and philosophy. Greek influences permeated Roman education, and the writings of poets and historians reflected the complexities of life on the frontiers. Such works began to explore themes of duty, honor, and the costs of conflict, highlighting the duality of glory and suffering experienced by soldiers and their families. The social hierarchy shifted as well, with veterans often receiving land and status upon their return. This could elevate their standing, yet many faced challenges reintegrating into civilian life. The scars of battle, both physical and psychological, left lingering effects on individuals and their communities. Religious practices adapted to address the uncertainties of war, with rituals seeking protection and favor from the gods. Festivals commemorated victories and honored fallen comrades, reinforcing collective memory and identity. Through these myriad channels, the influence of military endeavors permeated every aspect of Roman existence. Legislation evolved in tandem with military campaigns, reflecting the pressing needs of soldiers and their families. Laws specifically tailored to the needs of the military addressed the welfare of veterans, land distribution, and the rights of those who served. This focus ensured that the sacrifices made on behalf of the empire were recognized and rewarded. The establishment of veteran colonies served not only to settle soldiers, but also to expand Roman influence across newly acquired territories. Land grants became a prominent feature of legislation, incentivizing service by offering fertile plots to those who had proven their loyalty. These statutes reinforced social bonds, creating a sense of obligation and reciprocity between the state and its defenders. The military's growing prominence in society led to changes in legal frameworks, accommodating the unique realities faced by soldiers. This region experienced a shift in values, with martial prowess becoming synonymous with civic virtue. Legal protections were implemented to safeguard the rights of soldiers, especially in matters of inheritance and property. Such measures ensured that even in times of war, the familial structures that supported the empire remained intact. The intertwining of military service and legislative reforms solidified the army's role as a cornerstone of Roman identity, influencing not only policies but also the very fabric of society. The consequences of these developments would echo through subsequent generations, shaping the course of Roman history. The soldier's will emerged as a significant instrument for propaganda, reinforcing loyalty and commitment among troops. This legal construct allowed soldiers to dictate their final wishes, often reflecting a deep-seated desire for glory and honor in service to Rome. The act of drafting a will became a public declaration of allegiance, showcasing the soldiers' dedication to the empire and its ideals. It served not only a personal purpose, but also a communal one. As these documents were often shared amongst fellow soldiers, the contents frequently included bequests to comrades, enhancing bonds forged in the crucible of battle. This practice helped cultivate a sense of unity and purpose, aligning individual ambitions with the collective mission of the legions. The wills also functioned as a narrative tool, illustrating the values of bravery and sacrifice. When soldiers expressed their hopes for posthumous recognitions, they contributed to a larger story that glorified military service. This narrative was embraced by leaders who utilized it to inspire new recruits, framing the act of service as a noble pursuit worthy of reverence. Within this context, the soldier's will became a powerful means of shaping public perception. It reinforced the notion that a soldier's life was intrinsically tied to the legacy of Rome, cementing their role as both defenders and architects of the empire's enduring identity. Religious practices were deeply intertwined with military life, providing a spiritual foundation for soldiers. Each legion was accompanied by various priests and augurs, whose responsibilities included conducting rituals to seek favor from the gods. This connection was not merely ceremonial, it shaped the morale and cohesion of the troops. The invocation of divine protection became essential before battles, as soldiers turned to their deities for assurance and strength. This region of belief extended to the veneration of specific gods. Mars, the god of war, stood at the forefront, embodying the martial spirit of the Roman army. Soldiers would offer sacrifices, often animals, to gain his favor. Such rituals served not only as acts of devotion but also reinforced a sense of unity among the men. Their shared faith contributed to a collective identity, grounding their purpose in a higher cause. The influence of religion permeated daily life as well. Standards bearing sacred symbols were carried into battle, serving as both spiritual and tactical signifiers. These emblems reminded soldiers of their commitments, linking personal valor to a greater divine mission. Rituals were observed before significant undertakings, instilling a discipline that transcended mere obedience. Through this sacred lens, military endeavors were framed as both earthly conquests and divine mandates, shaping the very essence of Roman identity. The legal status of conquered peoples in Rome varied significantly, reflecting the complexities of imperial governance. Initially, subjugated communities found themselves under the jurisdiction of local laws, yet their status evolved as Roman influence expanded. It was common for these populations to be granted varying degrees of citizenship, which allowed them participation in the broader Roman legal framework. Some groups achieved full citizenship, enjoying the rights and protections afforded by Roman law. This granted them the ability to own property, marry Roman citizens, and partake in civic life. Others were relegated to a lower tier, receiving partial rights that permitted trade and certain legal protections but excluded them from the full privileges of citizenship. This stratification served to integrate conquered peoples into the empire while maintaining a clear hierarchy. The extension of legal status often depended on loyalty and service to Rome's and regions demonstrating allegiance. Local leaders were frequently rewarded with citizenship for their people. Such policies not only encouraged cooperation but also facilitated the spread of Roman culture and administrative practices. In contrast, those who resisted Roman authority faced punitive measures, often resulting in loss of rights or outright subjugation. This complex legal landscape illustrates how Rome navigated the delicate balance between control and assimilation, ensuring stability across its far-reaching territories while fostering a diverse mosaic of cultures within its jurisdiction. The special law granted unique privileges to Roman soldiers, enabling them to operate under a distinct legal framework while on campaign. This legal provision facilitated swift decision-making, allowing commanders to respond effectively to the dynamic challenges presented by warfare. Autonomy in matters such as procurement and discipline played a critical role in maintaining order and efficiency within the ranks. Soldiers were often exempt from certain local laws, which streamlined operations in foreign territories. The implications of this law extended beyond mere military function. It fostered a sense of loyalty among troops who recognized the protection afforded to them by the Roman state. This loyalty was instrumental in garnering support for campaigns, ensuring that soldiers remained committed to their mission. Such legal provisions also encouraged recruitment, as the promise of citizenship and its accompanying rights motivated many non-Romans to enlist. A civil military relations were thus reframed. The special law not only allowed for greater flexibility in command, but also enabled the integration of diverse ethnic groups into the military structure. This blending of cultures within the ranks contributed to a more adaptable force, capable of leveraging the strengths of various backgrounds in different contexts. The structure of military engagement became increasingly sophisticated, reflecting both legal dimensions and the complexities of governance in an expansive empire. The treatment of prisoners of war under Roman law reveals a nuanced approach, balancing pragmatism and the imperatives of justice. Captives were often subjected to a range of conditions depending on their status, the circumstances of their capture, and the strategic interests of the empire. Rather than a uniform policy, this region exhibited variability that could shift rapidly, influenced by the prevailing political climate. High-ranking officials and notable enemies might find themselves treated with a degree of respect, often retained for their potential value in negotiations or as hostages. In contrast, lower-ranking soldiers faced harsher realities. Many were conscripted into forced labor or sold into servitude, their fates determined by the whims of their captors. This reflects a legal framework that prioritized the utility of individuals over the principles of human rights as understood today. The practice of enslavement permeated various levels of Roman society, revealing the intertwining of warfare and economic factors. Legal provisions existed to protect certain categories of prisoners, yet these were often circumvented in the heat of conflict. The evolving legal standards around these issues highlight the complexities of Roman governance, where the ideals of civilization collided with the ruthless demands of expansion and the practicalities of military success. The reliance on slave labor within the Roman military campaigns underscores a significant aspect of this expansive empire's operational efficiency. This practice facilitated the cultivation of agricultural lands, the construction of fortifications, and the maintenance of supply lines essential for sustaining troops in distant territories. It exemplified the intertwining of economic necessity and military ambition, wherein the labor of enslaved individuals became a crucial backbone for logistical support. These individuals, often captured during conquests, were deployed across various regions, their labor enabling the swift mobilization of resources. The efficiency of military operations depended on this labor force, allowing Roman legions to advance further into hostile territories with substantial provisions, while the soldiers engaged in direct combat. The unseen hands of enslaved people ensured that fortresses were built, roads were cleared, and essential materials were delivered. In many instances, the brutal realities of enslavement were juxtaposed with the ideals of Roman citizenship and virtue. The empire's expansion was often justified through narratives of civilization, yet it simultaneously relied on an underclass stripped of autonomy. This contradiction illustrates the moral complexities inherent in the foundation of Roman power, where advancements in military prowess were contingent upon the subjugation of others. Such dynamics shaped not only the outcomes of campaigns but also the very fabric of Roman society. The significance of the triumph extended far beyond mere celebrations. This event served as a public acknowledgement of military success, reinforcing the connection between the soldier and the state. Victorious commanders paraded through the city, adorned in regal attire, symbolizing the glory achieved through the sacrifices of their troops. This ritual, steeped in tradition, emphasized the honor bestowed upon not just the leaders but also the legions that fought valiantly in distant lands. Crowds gathered, their cheers echoing off ancient stone, echoing a shared pride and collective memory forged in battle. It was a moment when the boundaries of class and status blurred, as citizens united in admiration for their armed forces. Such spectacles reinforced loyalty to Rome, creating an atmosphere of confidence and stability amidst the uncertainties of war. The triumph was meticulously orchestrated, featuring not only the spoils of war but also captives, who exemplified the conquered enemies. This display served as a reminder of military might, instilling both respect and fear in those who would challenge Roman authority. As the procession moved through the streets, the scent of incense mingled with the cries of celebration, a testament to the enduring legacy of military endeavor. Each triumph contributed to the overarching narrative of Rome, solidifying its identity as a formidable power in the ancient world. The legal framework governing military punishments reflected the discipline essential for maintaining order within the ranks. This system was designed to deter misconduct and ensure the effectiveness of operations. Specific laws outlined various offenses and corresponding penalties, establishing a clear hierarchy of command. Commanders wielded significant authority, empowered to enforce these regulations with swift action. Delinquency, such as cowardice in battle or disobedience to orders, resulted in severe repercussions. The most serious offenses could lead to execution, a grim reminder of the stakes involved in maintaining military cohesion. Lesser violations, such as insubordination or neglect of duty, incurred penalties that could include flogging or fines. These measures served not only as punishment but also as a means to reaffirm loyalty and commitment to the collective cause. Military trials operated under a distinct set of procedures, often expedited to ensure timely resolution. The presence of fellow soldiers during these proceedings reinforced the communal aspect of accountability. This emphasis on camaraderie was vital, as the effectiveness of the unit depended upon unwavering trust among its members. The principle of collective responsibility also played a crucial role, whereby entire units could be held accountable for individual misdeeds. Such practices cultivated a strong sense of unity, reinforcing the notion that personal actions directly impacted the success of the entire force. This intricate legal structure underscored the seriousness of military life and the commitment required to uphold the standards of the Roman military. The standards of the Roman military evolved significantly over time, reflecting changes in tactics, organization, and the empire's vast expanse. Initially, simple poles adorned with symbols represented individual units. As warfare progressed, these symbols transformed into elaborate standards known as vexilla. Commanders utilized them to rally troops and establish a sense of unity amidst the chaos of battle. In the 1st century BCE, the introduction of the aquila, or eagle standard, emerged as a pivotal development. This emblem not only signified a legion's identity, but also embodied the honor and valor of the Roman state. Loss of an Aquila in battle was deemed a grave disgrace, prompting fierce efforts to protect it. These standards served more than just a military function. They became potent symbols of Roman identity. The presence of a standard in foreign territories reinforced the reach of Roman power, instilling both fear and admiration among adversaries. With the advent of the Roman Empire, standards became increasingly ornate, adorned with intricate decorations that conveyed the prestige of the legion and its commander. The adoption of distinct colors and insignias further allowed for differentiation among legions, facilitating coordination in diverse combat scenarios. The evolution of these standards exemplifies the intertwining of military tradition and the broader cultural identity of Rome. Each advancement marked a shift in strategy and cohesion, crucial for sustaining the empire's dominance throughout centuries. Literature from the Roman era often reflects the complexities of the soldier's will, illuminating the psychological landscape of those who served. It captures the intricate balance between duty and personal ambition, portraying the soldier as both a protector of the empire and a man torn by the weight of his responsibilities. This duality resonates in accounts of campaigns where valor and vulnerability coexist, revealing the inner struggles faced by these men. Epic poetry and historical narratives serve as vessels for exploring themes of loyalty and sacrifice. The texts not only document military victories, but also delve into the emotional toll of warfare, illustrating how personal narratives intertwine with the collective identity of the legion. These works reveal a deep understanding of the motivations that drove soldiers forward. Even in the face of overwhelming adversity, the soldier's will can be seen not only in their relentless pursuit of glory, but also in the quiet moments of reflection found within these texts. They provide insight into the moral dilemmas faced during campaigns, emphasizing the personal costs of conquest. In this context, literature becomes a crucial archive, preserving the nuanced experiences of those who fought, allowing future generations to grasp the profound implications of their sacrifices and the enduring legacy of their will amidst the vast expanse of history. The Senate held a pivotal role in shaping military affairs within the Roman framework. This governing body, comprising esteemed officials, was responsible for approving military campaigns, thus intertwining political objectives with military strategy. It exercised authority over troop deployments and the allocation of resources, ensuring that military endeavors aligned with the broader interests of the Republic. Deliberations within the Senate could be lengthy, with discussions reflecting the complexities of balancing military necessities against the implications for governance. The interplay between military leaders and senatorial authority highlighted a tension that could influence the outcome of campaigns. Generals were often expected to navigate this intricate landscape, seeking both Senate support and the loyalty of their troops. In times of conflict, the Senate's decisions were often informed by reports from the field. Senators relied on generals to provide updates on troop morale and the challenges faced in distant territories. This dynamic fostered a relationship where military leaders became key figures in the political arena, their successes or failures shaping senatorial opinion. The impact of these decisions extended beyond immediate military outcomes, affecting the Republic's stability and expansion. As military campaigns unfolded, the Senate's involvement underscored the intricate relationship between governance and military might, establishing a legacy that would resonate throughout Roman history. The foundation of military success lay in rigorous training and unwavering discipline. This preparation ensured that soldiers could respond effectively to the demands of various campaigns. In this environment, training was not merely a routine. It served as a critical mechanism to forge unity and resilience among troops. Each soldier was instilled with a profound understanding of their role within the greater structure of the Legion, fostering a sense of belonging and purpose. Discipline extended beyond the battlefield, influencing daily life in the encampment. Orders were expected to be followed without question, creating an atmosphere where accountability was paramount. This focus on obedience allowed for seamless coordination during combat, as soldiers were conditioned to react instinctively to commands. The significance of drill exercises cannot be overstated. These repetitive actions transformed individuals into cohesive units capable of executing complex maneuvers. The physical and mental fortitude developed through this process contributed to the overall effectiveness of the Roman army. Soldiers were not only trained in combat techniques but were also educated about strategy and the importance of maintaining formations. Such comprehensive preparation ensured that they could withstand the rigors of prolonged engagements and adapt to shifting circumstances on the battlefield. Legal frameworks established specific rights for soldiers operating in foreign territories, ensuring a degree of protection and accountability. These rights provided a foundation for the treatment of military personnel, safeguarding their dignity even amidst the chaos of conflict. It was essential for maintaining morale and cohesion, creating an environment where soldiers could focus on their duties without the burden of legal uncertainties. Provisions included the right to fair treatment under local laws, a recognition of their status as combatants. This acknowledgement was critical, as it distinguished them from civilians and granted them certain privileges and protections. In addition, regulations affirmed their entitlement to proper sustenance, medical care, and rest, critical for maintaining their operational capability during extended campaigns. The legal framework also addressed interactions with local populations. Soldiers were instructed to respect the customs and laws of the regions in which they operated, fostering goodwill that could prevent hostilities. Failure to adhere to these guidelines could result in consequences, both for the individual and the broader military unit. Such structures not only aimed to regulate behavior, but also to instill a sense of honor and responsibility. They served as a reminder that even on distant shores, the soldiers' conduct remained a reflection of their homeland, reinforcing the notion of duty beyond mere survival in the field. The concept of imperium defined the military authority wielded by commanders, embodying both legal and moral dimensions. It granted leaders the power to make crucial decisions, often under extreme pressure, shaping the course of campaigns. This authority was not merely a reflection of rank. It carried the weight of responsibility, demanding a balance between discipline and the welfare of troops. With imperium came the expectation of unwavering loyalty from soldiers, who were drawn into a hierarchy that emphasized obedience and valor. The relationship between commanders and their men was complex, influenced by the broader socio-political landscape of Rome. It reflected the ideals of citizenship and honor, intertwining personal ambition with collective purpose. During campaigns, imperium became a tool for maintaining order amidst chaos. Leaders exercised their authority to enforce regulations, manage resources, and inspire courage even when faced with overwhelming odds. This power, however, could be contested, leading to tensions that arose within ranks. The potential for dissent highlighted the fragility of military cohesion, revealing the thin line between unity and discord. Local populations often found themselves at the crossroads of military objectives and cultural exchanges. These interactions, while rooted in necessity, formed a complex web of relationships that fluctuated between cooperation and resistance. Roman soldiers, charged with maintaining order and expanding territorial claims, frequently relied on the goodwill of the inhabitants. In many instances, this led to a symbiotic arrangement where local resources sustained the legions, while Roman protection afforded safety from external threats. Interactions could be pragmatic, as soldiers engaged in trade, acquiring food and supplies essential for their campaigns. This exchange fostered a degree of mutual dependence, with soldiers increasingly adopting aspects of local customs and practices. Many legionaries became fluent in local dialects, facilitating communication and easing tensions. Yet, the imposition of Roman authority often bred resentment. Displacement of local leaders and the appropriation of land served as catalysts for conflict. In regions where Roman presence was marked by heavy-handed tactics, hostility could erupt, undermining the very cohesion the legions sought to establish. These dynamics painted a picture of fluctuating allegiances and strategic partnerships. The reality of the Roman military experience was characterized by a constant negotiation of power, revealing the inherent complexities of empire building amidst diverse cultural landscapes. Military tribunals played a crucial role in maintaining order within the ranks and enforcing law among the Roman soldiers. These judicial bodies, composed of officers, provided a means to address offenses that occurred both on and off the battlefield. The unique structure of these tribunals allowed for swift resolutions, ensuring discipline and cohesion within the legions. When a soldier faced charges, the tribunal would convene, drawing upon both military regulations and the broader legal framework of Roman law. This duality ensured that while soldiers were subject to military commands, they were also afforded certain protections under the law. The presence of these tribunals helped to forge a sense of accountability among the ranks, necessitating that even the highest officials adhere to established protocols. The proceedings were marked by a combination of formal and practical approaches, emphasizing the need for order in the chaos of warfare. Punishments could range from fines to corporal penalties, reflecting the severity of the offenses committed. This method of justice not only reinforced discipline, but also served as a deterrent against misconduct, fostering an environment where the collective responsibility of the legion remained paramount. Ossa Satori, where loyalty and obedience were prized, military tribunals thus became essential instruments in shaping the behavior of Roman soldiers, contributing significantly to the stability of the empire. The will of the soldier emerged as a pivotal force, influencing not only military conduct, but also broader societal structures. This resolute determination acted as a catalyst for change, challenging established norms and invigorating the social fabric of the empire. Through their experiences, soldiers frequently encountered diverse cultures and ideas, which reshaped their perspectives and attitudes upon returning home. Worse, in these interactions, they absorbed new practices, which they then brought back to their communities. The introduction of foreign customs, agricultural techniques, and trade practices contributed to economic evolution. This infusion of knowledge and experience rippled through local societies, encouraging innovation and adaptation in various sectors. The soldier's will thus extended beyond the battlefield, fostering a climate of progress. The valor displayed in military campaigns also inspired civic pride. Veterans often became local leaders, leveraging their status to demand reforms and improvements. Their experiences imbued them with a sense of authority, granting them a platform to advocate for rights and entitlements which previously may have been disregarded. This shift in power dynamics shifted perceptions of authority, encouraging a more participatory governance model. In essence, the soldier's will not only shaped individual destinies, but also transformed collective identities, leaving an indelible mark on Roman society that transcended the confines of military life. Significant military campaigns served as catalysts for profound historical change. Each engagement not only altered territorial boundaries, but also influenced social and political structures. The expansionist endeavors of Roman legions, for instance, extended far beyond mere conquests. They facilitated the spread of culture, language, and governance. These campaigns forged connections among diverse peoples, intertwining their fates with that of Rome. Faced with that of Rome. Though integration of conquered provinces introduced new economic systems, contributing to the wealth of the empire, trade routes flourished, linking distant regions and fostering a complex network of commerce. This economic interdependence altered local customs as Roman practices and ideologies permeated the lives of indigenous populations. Military achievements often prompted shifts in leadership dynamics. Successful generals gained power and prestige, challenging the authority of traditional political figures. This phenomenon not only empowered the military elite, but also led to the emergence of new leadership models, where the military played a crucial role in governance. The outcomes of these campaigns resonated through time, leaving a legacy that shaped subsequent civilizations. The principles of governance, military strategy, and cultural exchange established during this period continued to influence societies long after the fall of the empire, underpinning the evolution of political thought and military doctrine for generations. The advancement of technology played a pivotal role in the efficiency and success of Roman military campaigns. Innovations in engineering and metallurgy allowed for the development of superior weaponry and fortifications. The use of the pilum, a heavy javelin designed to disrupt enemy formations, exemplified a strategic integration of technology and combat philosophy. This design not only targeted individual soldiers, but also aimed to incapacitate shields, rendering them ineffective in subsequent engagements. Subsequent engagements, siege engines, such as the ballista and the onager, further transformed the landscape of warfare. Capable of launching projectiles at great distances, these machines breached fortified cities and strongholds, shifting the dynamics of territorial control. They represented a calculated blend of physics and military necessity, demonstrating an understanding of both human and material resources. Logistics also benefited from technological advancements. The construction of roads and communication networks facilitated the rapid movement of troops and supplies across vast distances. This infrastructure enabled Rome to maintain a presence in conquered territories, thereby reinforcing its authority and influence. The design and construction techniques employed in military camps, which included fortifications and organized layouts, showcased an understanding of both defensive and offensive strategies. Each aspect of technology, from weaponry to infrastructure, played a crucial role in shaping the effectiveness of the Roman military machine. The special law for the Roman men on campaign emerged as a vital instrument of imperial governance. This framework provided essential guidelines for soldiers, ensuring discipline and cohesion within the ranks. Such regulations addressed the complexities of military life, especially when operations extended far beyond the borders of Rome. The need for order in unfamiliar territories amplified the significance of this legal structure. Provisions encompassed various aspects of military conduct, from the treatment of prisoners to the responsibilities of officers. These statutes not only enforced discipline, but also aimed to uphold the image of Rome as a civilized power. The expectation for soldiers to adhere to these laws underscored the empire's commitment to a standard of conduct that transcended mere conquest. As campaigns progressed, the application and enforcement of this law became increasingly crucial. Soldiers were often away for extended periods, facing the challenges of isolation and the complexities of diverse cultures. The special law served as a reminder of their duties, fostering a sense of unity among troops while reinforcing their connection to the larger imperial agenda. In the broader context, these regulations facilitated smoother interactions with local populations, allowing for the establishment of alliances and the stabilization of newly acquired territories. Thus, the special law played an integral role in maintaining the coherence of Roman authority across its vast expanse. This framework established by the special law laid foundational principles that would resonate through history. Its emphasis on discipline and order influenced subsequent legal systems, embedding a sense of structure and governance. Military law introduced concepts of duty and accountability, which transcended the immediate context of the battlefield. The codification of laws regarding military conduct and the treatment of both soldiers and civilians began to shape civilian legal frameworks. These regulations served as a prototype for later legal codifications, promoting a structured response to transgressions. This influence extended beyond Roman borders, permeating cultures that came into contact with its military might. As empires rose and fell, the remnants of Roman military law provided guidance for maintaining societal order. Nations adopted principles that emphasized the necessity for clarity in legal repercussions and the roles of authority figures. This led to the establishment of legal codes that prioritized the protection of both the state and its citizens. In contemporary systems, echoes of this early military governance persist. The integration of military ethics into civilian law showcases the lasting impact of that ancient code. These legal adaptations represent a continuum of evolving governance, rooted in the historical necessity of maintaining authority and discipline, reflecting the enduring legacy of Roman military influence on modern jurisprudence. The portrayal of soldiers in Roman art and culture reveals significant insights into their societal role and the values of their time. Statues, reliefs, and pottery consistently depict these warriors in a manner that emphasizes strength and valor. Armor, weapons, and elaborate insignia are prominent, symbolizing not just military might but also civic duty and loyalty to the Republic. This focus on martial aesthetics illustrates the reverence held for military service and the esteemed status that soldiers occupied within the hierarchy of Roman society. Cultural artifacts such as mosaics and frescoes further illustrate the soldier's life. Scenes often capture the grandeur of triumphs, with soldiers celebrated for their conquests and contributions to the empire's expansion. These representations serve to reinforce a collective identity where individual achievement aligns with the glory of Rome. The imagery is often imbued with a sense of duty, portraying not just the warrior's physical prowess but also their commitment to the ideals of the state. In literature, soldiers are frequently depicted as embodiments of virtue and discipline, serving as both heroes and cautionary figures within narratives. The duality of their portrayal reflects a complex relationship between valor and violence, illustrating the multifaceted nature of military existence in the Roman world. This cultural representation serves as a backdrop to the complex interplay between military law and human rights. Within the confines of established military statutes, the rights of soldiers are often delineated, reflecting the unique demands of warfare. These regulations aim to uphold discipline and order, essential for effective military operations, while simultaneously acknowledging the inherent dignity of the individual. In times of conflict, the balance shifts. revealing the often tenuous relationship between duty and personal freedoms. Soldiers may find themselves under obligations that conflict with their moral compass, prompting debates about the extent to which human rights can be upheld amidst the chaos of combat. The principles enshrined in international human rights law provide a framework designed to protect individuals. Yet the realities of military engagement introduce layers of complexity that challenge these ideals. The mechanisms for accountability can be obscured in the fog of war, where decisions are made rapidly and the consequences can be severe. Rights afforded to soldiers, such as protection from inhumane treatment and the right to a fair trial, may be compromised in the name of operational efficiency. Observations of military conduct reveal a spectrum of adherence to these principles, highlighting the ongoing struggle to align the rigors of military law with the fundamental rights that govern humanity. The legacy of Roman military law extends far beyond the confines of its original empire, influencing contemporary legal frameworks in various nations. Aspects of this ancient code have been integrated into modern military standards, shaping the treatment of combatants and non-combatants alike. Regulations developed during that era emphasized the necessity of discipline and accountability, principles that persist in today's armed forces. Significant is the concept of just war, which emerged from these early military laws. It established criteria for engaging in conflict, fostering a dialogue about the ethical dimensions of warfare. Pursuing such discussions continues to resonate in military ethics and international law, where the principles of distinction and proportionality guide modern operations. Legal scholars often cite the Roman legacies as foundational in discussions surrounding the rights of soldiers. Protections afforded to military personnel during that time set precedents that echo in various military justice systems. The balance between maintaining order and safeguarding individual rights remains a central concern in modern militaries, reflecting the ongoing relevance of these ancient rules. Contemporary military engagements often draw upon these historical frameworks to navigate the complexities of modern warfare. The intricate relationship between law and ethics, established centuries ago, persists, shaping the principles that govern military conduct today. The evolution of these laws illustrates a continuous dialogue between past and present, informing the conduct of those in uniform. The impact of military veterans on Roman politics cannot be understated. Their experience in campaigns often translated into political influence, as they were viewed as embodiments of the state's values and achievements. This connection fostered a unique bond between the military and the citizenry, allowing veterans to wield significant power in shaping governance. The transition from soldier to statesman was facilitated by the respect accorded to those who had endured the rigors of battle. They were frequently celebrated in public ceremonies, their triumphs immortalized in monuments and inscriptions. This visibility not only honored their service, but also solidified their role as key figures within the community. Fierce, political factions often sought their support, recognizing the sway veterans held over the populace. Their voices carried weight in assemblies, where their testimonies of loyalty and sacrifice could sway opinions and decisions. This phenomenon was particularly evident during periods of instability, when the backing of seasoned warriors could tip the balance in favor of a political leader or initiative. The eventual establishment of veteran colonies further underscored their importance. These settlements served as rewards for service, while simultaneously integrating veterans into the socio-political fabric of Roman society. Such measures ensured that their military prowess continued to influence the political landscape long after they hung up their swords. This intricate interplay forged a legacy that would echo throughout Roman history. The concept of sacrifice in Roman military culture was deeply intertwined with notions of duty and honor. Soldiers, often recruited from various provinces, entered the legions with a profound understanding of their role within the greater framework of the empire. The willingness to lay down one's life for comrades and the Republic was not merely an expectation, it was an ideal etched into the very fabric of military identity. This commitment manifested in various forms. The rituals performed before battles served to reinforce a soldier's resolve and connection to their ancestors. Offerings were made to deities, seeking favor and protection in exchange for their loyalty and bravery. Such acts exemplified the belief that personal sacrifice contributed to the collective strength of the legion and, by extension, the empire. The repercussions of these sacrifices were palpable. The valor exhibited on the battlefield became a source of tremendous pride, fostering camaraderie among soldiers. Tales of bravery were celebrated and recounted through generations, creating a mythos that elevated the status of those who had perished in service. This unwavering dedication reinforced societal norms, with the fallen being honored as heroes, further embedding the concept of sacrifice within Roman culture. The interplay of duty, honor, and sacrifice shaped not only individual destinies but also the enduring legacy of the Roman military ethos. The special law, a pivotal framework governing the conduct of soldiers, established clear expectations and responsibilities for those on campaign. Enshrined in legal texts, it outlined the rights afforded to soldiers and their families, ensuring a degree of protection and recognition amidst the rigors of military service. In various provinces, its application reflected local customs and challenges, adapting to the unique needs of diverse regions. In the provinces of Gaul, this legislation provided soldiers with specific provisions for land grants upon completion of service, reinforcing loyalty and encouraging enlistment among the local populace. It became a tool for Romanization as veterans settled into newly acquired territories, further entwining the military with regional identities. In contrast, the arid landscapes of North Africa presented different challenges. Here, the law extended protections against local hostilities, ensuring that soldiers could operate effectively in a harsh environment. The emphasis on communal support systems facilitated cooperation between soldiers and local communities, fostering a shared sense of purpose. Across the eastern provinces, the special law's implementation highlighted the complexities of managing diverse cultural landscapes. Local leaders often negotiated terms, ensuring that military presence aligned with regional governance structures, thus embedding Roman authority while respecting existing traditions. This adaptability underlined the law's role in fortifying the Roman military's presence across a vast empire. Samba, the leadership styles within the Roman military significantly influenced its operational effectiveness and success. Charismatic commanders fostered loyalty and morale among the ranks, creating a cohesive unit capable of executing complex maneuvers. Their ability to inspire confidence often translated into remarkable battlefield outcomes. In contrast, authoritative leaders emphasized discipline and obedience, ensuring that orders were followed with precision. This strict adherence to command structures facilitated swift tactical responses during engagements. The environment of the campaigns necessitated adaptive leadership.
In hostile territories, where resources were scarce and the threat from adversaries was constant, leaders who demonstrated flexibility and strategy often secured victories. They assessed situations with a keen understanding of both terrain and enemy movements, making real-time decisions that could alter the course of engagements. The effectiveness of these leaders was often reflected in their ability to maintain a well-trained and resilient force. Success was not solely dependent on individual prowess. Collective leadership contributed to the Roman military's achievements. Decisions made through councils of officers allowed for diverse perspectives, balancing aggression with caution. This collaborative approach often led to more comprehensive strategies that accounted for various contingencies. The shaping of Roman identity through military history is profound. The collective experiences of soldiers not only influenced tactics but also contributed to the cultural fabric of the empire. This region, marked by numerous campaigns and battles, became a crucible for virtues such as discipline, loyalty, and courage. The narratives of triumph and adversity among the legions formed an essential part of public consciousness, serving to unify diverse populations under a common identity. Monuments and inscriptions commemorated significant victories, reminding citizens of their shared heritage. These artifacts reflected not only military prowess, but also the values that the Roman state sought to instill in its people. The heroic figures of generals and soldiers became symbols, representing ideals that transcended individual experiences. In time, these stories of valor integrated into the broader mythos of Rome, reinforcing a sense of purpose and belonging among its citizens. The legacy of military campaigns influenced art, literature, and philosophy, providing a framework through which Romans understood their place in the world. The interplay between military success and civic identity highlights the importance of warfare in shaping societal norms and values. This relationship fostered a resilient identity, one that thrived on the memory of collective struggle and achievement, anchoring the populace to their illustrious past. The soldier's will often emerged most prominently during moments of profound crisis, revealing the depths of commitment and resilience among Roman soldiers. The siege of Alesia stands as a striking example. Encircled by enemy forces, a relief force approached, threatening the very existence of the besieged. In this dire situation, soldiers relied on their training and unwavering discipline. Holding steadfast against overwhelming odds, the fortifications became a testament to their will, a physical manifestation of their determination to protect their comrades and their homeland. Another notable case arose during the tumultuous campaign against the Parthians. Here, the harsh desert landscape posed formidable challenges, testing the limits of endurance. Supplies dwindled, and morale faltered, yet soldiers found strength in camaraderie. They shared rations, bolstered each other's spirits, and forged bonds that transcended individual hardships. The collective will became paramount, transforming personal struggle into shared resolve. Instances such as these illustrate a profound psychological mechanism. Soldiers often drew inspiration not only from their leaders, but also from the legacies of those who had come before them. The ideals of valor and loyalty resonated deeply, fostering a sense of purpose even in the bleakest circumstances. These narratives of resilience underline the enduring spirit that defined the Roman military ethos, reinforcing the unbreakable connection between soldier and state. The intersection of law and morality in military service establishes a profound framework within which soldiers navigate their duties. This realm defines the obligations expected from these men, juxtaposed with the ethical considerations intrinsic to their roles. Codes of conduct, outlined in military law, governed actions on the battlefield and shaped interactions with civilians. Adherence to these dictated norms was not merely a matter of discipline, it reflected the values held by the Roman state. Soldiers faced moral dilemmas that tested their convictions. Often in the heat of conflict, the laws were designed not only to ensure order, but also to uphold a sense of justice. Actions taken in pursuit of victory were scrutinized through a moral lens, determining whether they aligned with the greater good. The balance between strict adherence to orders and personal ethical beliefs became a defining characteristic of military life. These dynamics created an environment where individual choices carried significant weight, influencing outcomes beyond the battlefield. The soldier's will, shaped by both law and morality, became a guiding force, reflecting a commitment to honor and duty. Such complexities contributed to the broader narrative of Roman identity, illustrating how the ideals of service extended beyond mere compliance. In this light, the moral fabric of military engagement emerged as a crucial component of the Roman experience. The special law served as a vital instrument in promoting cohesion among troops. It established clear expectations regarding conduct and mutual support, reinforcing the bond between soldiers. This framework encouraged a sense of collective responsibility, as the law outlined the obligations of each soldier to their comrades and the larger unit. By delineating these duties, it fostered an environment where loyalty and camaraderie flourished. The enforcement of the law created a standard that transcended individual ambitions, emphasizing the importance of the group over personal gain. Soldiers were aware that their actions could influence not only their fate, but also that of their fellow warriors.
This understanding cultivated a spirit of unity, making them more effective in the face of challenges. The presence of these regulations reduced the likelihood of dissent and discord, channeling energies toward a common goal. In the harsh realities of military campaigns, the law acted as a stabilizing force. It provided a framework through which soldiers navigated the complexities of warfare, ensuring that their focus remained on the mission at hand. The emphasis on accountability and mutual support reinforced interpersonal bonds, which were essential for maintaining morale during prolonged engagements. Within this structure, the essence of Roman military success lay not only in strategy, but in the solidarity forged among its ranks. The transformation of military law post-Roman Empire reshaped the framework within which soldiers operated. With the fall of centralized authority, the codification of laws became increasingly fragmented. Various territories began to implement their own versions of military regulations, often reflecting local customs and governance. In this newly decentralized landscape, the concept of a unified soldier's will weakened, leading to a more personal interpretation of duty and allegiance. In these regions, the remnants of Roman military discipline persisted, albeit in modified forms. Commanders sought to maintain order through an amalgamation of traditional Roman principles and emerging feudal structures. This blend aimed to foster loyalty while adapting to the evolving political climates that characterized the post-imperial world. The soldiers' obligations shifted, influenced by the rising power of local lords and the necessity of individual survival in uncertain times. Legal frameworks began to emphasize personal honor and service to local leaders, rather than a collective identity. This shift drastically altered the soldier's experience on campaign. The spirit of camaraderie, once a vital component of Roman military effectiveness, now contended with new loyalties. The evolving societal norms and legal stipulations dictated how soldiers viewed their roles, leading to a complex interplay between tradition and innovative governance. The essence of military service became increasingly tied to personal motivations and local affiliations. Military alliances played a critical role in Roman strategy, shaping the dynamics of power across the Mediterranean and beyond. These partnerships often provided essential support in terms of manpower, resources, and intelligence. Local rulers and tribes were drawn into the fold through promises of protection and shared benefits, creating a network of allegiances that bolstered Roman influence. This strategic framework allowed for the rapid expansion of territories, as the legions could leverage these alliances to secure footholds in foreign lands. The loyalty of allied forces was often contingent on shared interests, which could shift in response to changing circumstances.
The ability to navigate these complex relationships was vital for maintaining control over diverse regions. In many instances, it was the integration of local customs and leaders into the Roman military apparatus that facilitated smoother governance. This integration fostered a sense of cooperation, where the interests of local populations were recognized and incorporated into broader imperial goals. As campaigns unfolded, the presence of allied contingents could significantly alter the outcome of confrontations, providing strategic advantages in terms of numbers and local knowledge. The very fabric of Roman military success was interwoven with the strength of these alliances, illustrating a sophisticated understanding of both warfare and diplomacy. Such alliances not only served immediate goals, but also laid the groundwork for enduring peace in newly conquered territories. The intricate web of military operations was often underpinned by a network of spies and intelligence operatives. Gathering information about enemy movements, resources, and strategies became essential for the success of campaigns. This clandestine effort provided commanders with insights that could mean the difference between victory and defeat. The reliance on these agents transformed the way battles were fought, with knowledge becoming as valuable as weaponry. In the shadows of the battlefield, these individuals operated silently, infiltrating enemy lines and often blending seamlessly with local populations. Their reports, relayed back to commanders, detailed troop strengths, fortifications, and the morale of opposing forces. The intelligence gathered was meticulously analyzed, allowing for strategic planning and the implementation of tactics that could exploit weaknesses. This region, characterized by shifting alliances and ever-changing loyalties, amplified the significance of such intelligence. Spies were not merely observers. They were active participants in the unfolding narrative of conquest. Their ability to navigate complex social landscapes provided critical context, enriching the strategic framework within which military leaders operated. In this environment, the use of deception became an art form. Misinformation was sometimes deployed deliberately, creating confusion and disarray among enemy ranks. The blending of knowledge and strategy molded campaigns, revealing the profound impact of intelligence in shaping the course of history. This influence extended beyond the immediate context of Roman campaigns. The special law for the Roman men on campaign established principles that would resonate through the ages. Guidelines outlined within this legislation underscored not only the rights and responsibilities of soldiers, but also the ethical conduct expected during warfare. These early codifications served as a foundation for subsequent military codes, emphasizing discipline and the humane treatment of both comrades and adversaries. The implications of such regulations were far-reaching. They introduced the notion of accountability within military ranks, fostering a sense of unity and purpose among soldiers. This structured approach to warfare contrasted sharply with the often chaotic nature of conflict in earlier periods. The consequences of their implementation became evident in later military doctrines across various civilizations, where adherence to codes of conduct became paramount. Subsequent empires would draw inspiration from these principles, integrating them into their own military structures. Adaptations emerged, reflecting the unique cultural and strategic contexts of different societies. The essence of this early Roman legislation echoed through time, influencing not just military engagements but also the broader understanding of justice in conflict. The legacy of this special law endures, serving as a reminder of the intricate relationship between governance, morality, and the conduct of war that continues to shape military ethics today. The principles established by Roman military law resonate throughout the generations, informing modern frameworks of military conduct and ethical considerations. This foundation laid by the Romans emphasizes the importance of discipline, accountability, and a code of honor among soldiers. It fosters an environment where the responsibilities of combatants extend beyond mere battlefield tactics, encompassing the treatment of both allies and adversaries. These guidelines are reflected in contemporary military doctrines, which prioritize adherence to rules of engagement and the protection of non-combatants. The Roman emphasis on civic duty and the individual soldier's role within the greater societal structure continues to underpin modern military philosophy. The concept of virtus, or moral excellence, remains a cornerstone in training programs, instilling values that encourage soldiers to act with integrity. The legal frameworks that emerged from this ancient legacy have been adapted, influencing international laws such as the Geneva Conventions. These treaties are direct descendants of the ideals that governed Roman soldiers, advocating for humane treatment during armed conflict. This ongoing evolution illustrates the profound impact of those initial principles, as they intertwine with contemporary discussions on ethics in warfare. The enduring legacy of Roman military principles serves not only as a historical reference, but as a guiding beacon for future generations navigating the complexities of armed conflict. The principles underlying the soldier's will resonate profoundly within contemporary military ethics. This foundational concept underscores the importance of duty, loyalty, and personal sacrifice, which remain essential tenets in modern armed forces. It shapes the behavior and mindset of soldiers, guiding them through the multifaceted challenges encountered in today's complex and often ambiguous combat environments. The relevance of these principles is evident in the ongoing discourse surrounding rules of engagement and the moral responsibilities of military personnel. Ethical frameworks developed from the soldier's will advocate for not only the effective execution of orders, but also the adherence to humanitarian laws. This duality ensures that soldiers remain accountable for their actions, fostering an environment where respect for human dignity is paramount. Training programs increasingly emphasize these ideals, instilling a sense of purpose that transcends mere obedience to orders. The commitment to ethical conduct becomes a cornerstone of military identity, reinforcing the notion that strength lies not only in tactical prowess, but also in moral integrity. Observations from recent conflicts illustrate that a strong ethical foundation can enhance operational effectiveness, promoting unity and resilience among troops. The soldier's will, therefore, serves as a timeless guide, bridging ancient wisdom with contemporary military practice.